From the 600 ESPN El Paso River Oaks Property Schoolyard Sports Studio, here's Steve Kaplowitz and Adrian Broadus.
Welcome back here on a Thursday afternoon. We are ready to go with you for 2 hours, 30 minutes here on Sports Talk, along with Adrian Broadus, Alberto Urueta, and Cade McConnell. Steve Kaplowitz coming back with you here today. We got a good, busy show today, man. Cade's going to be here with us for the first couple hours. We've got UTEP's spring game coming up 2 days from now, 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. Excited about that. Excited about everything today. We got Jay Jaffe talking a little baseball, Jeff Erickson talking some fantasy. We've got also none other than Lane Frank stopping by today as well. Adrian, as you might imagine, we are busy and raring to go here on this Thursday edition of the program.
Yeah, and it's coming off a busy week, Steve. We were just at the 2024 annual bowl meetings. They were fantastic. Wrapped up a fantastic broadcast just yesterday. All the shows are up at our 600 ESPN El Paso podcast channel, so check it out. You'll hear representatives from the Rose Bowl. Yesterday, we talked to a representative from the College Football Playoff, Bill Hancock.
Not just a representative, the executive director, the guy that runs the College Football Playoff.
We've also talked to other bowl representatives like the Holiday Bowl, New Mexico Bowl, the person who actually runs the bowl meetings himself, and Nick Carparelli. So, yeah, we talked to executive directors all over.
Adrian, this was the most successful 2 days we've had since Radio Row at Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, it was just huge.
I don't know. The Conference USA tournament was pretty huge too, right?
Let me think for a second. Conference USA tournament. We were live from the Conference USA tournament?
I'm just saying, it was just a successful couple days.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I'm just talking about us broadcasting live on location.
Oh, totally agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to be there and to actually see these people in person. We haven't done this since the Super Bowl, really, where you're actually pulling in live guests like that.
I know. And the minute Cade leaves, who comes in but the head of the Rose Bowl?
Literally the minute he leaves.
I was working that angle while you were there so you could meet him, and the second you got up, he comes in.
I saw that. I was so bummed, too, because I had good stories that I wanted to tell him about. Not that my stories would have been significant to him, but I've been to 2 Rose Bowls. I got to go to the one where USC and Penn State played, and it went down to the wire with Sam Darnold and Saquon Barkley.
Wow.
So, I saw USC kick that game-winning field goal on that one, and then I saw more recently the first of the 2 Rose Bowls where Utah played Ohio State. I saw Jackson Smith and Jigba go for like the 350-yard receiving game or whatever he had that game when Stroud was there. So I've seen some great Rose Bowls.
Wow. I'll tell you what. I mean, that's huge in itself. And by the way, we were kind of trying to work that angle for maybe being a summer intern one year in the Rose Bowl, but you still got plenty of business cards when you were working with us on Tuesday's show. You did good for the first 90 minutes.
It was good. I wish I could have been there for the entire 3 hours, and then I wish I could have come back the next day and done the exact same thing just because it was such a cool environment. There were so many people there, and they're all really nice and great to talk to.
Yeah, they were. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time and just enjoyed ourselves. They were great hosts for us. So you tell me now, garage sale. The items look amazing. It looks like they've unearthed UTEP football jerseys that are 30 to 40 years old, which is going to be fantastic. They also have all the newer stuff out there. I mean, they've got 900 tickets sold as of a couple of days ago. We've got both coordinators coming by tomorrow along with Otis Pitts. They're going to be on the show. That's going to be a fun one for us, and just excited about the opportunity to finally see you guys in action.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. The garage sale looks cool. I wish I would love to be able to tell people everything that's inside of it other than what's on social media, but none of the players have seen it. I mean, we have no idea what's even in there. I wish they would have given us maybe a sneak peek or a chance to get an early dibs. That did not happen, so there's going to be a lot of really good stuff in there. That's exciting. And, yeah, of course, Steve, I mean, it's going to be really cool to go out and showcase what we've been working on for the past, 4 or 5 weeks or so for, 15 practices. That'll be our 15th practice right there to conclude spring ball, which is the spring game, and I'm so excited to be able to do it in front of an audience and kind of show what we've been building.
I am too. And by the way, I'm looking at some of the gear right now. It is awesome. There's shoes, there's hats, there's polos. There's a million boxes of stuff. I mean, it's 10,000 plus items. Prices are going to range from $5 to $100 each. 800 plus jerseys. 800 plus jerseys. It's a ton of jerseys. And by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm happy you don't have first dibs. You guys get enough stuff over the course of the year that you guys are there. You get warm-ups, you get T-shirts, you got hats, you got jerseys, you got a lot of stuff. Just This one is got to be for the fans. Got to be for the fans.
You know what? I'm happy that the fans are getting all of it. I really am. I want to see everyone decked out in that gear when they come. And if you guys are real hardcore, then go out and get the Adidas stuff so you could be decked out in Adidas for the games and be up current. But I understand if we show up in some Nike stuff, UTEP fans, I understand that. But I would also argue with you, Steve. You can never have enough gear.
That's true.
You can never have enough gear. So as much as the players get, sometimes I'm greedy about it. I understand.
I don't blame you. In fact, I would think that. And by the way, I've seen some posts on social for the gear. Danny Garcia, who works in the athletic department, took a couple of photos and put it up there. And next thing you know, everybody's commenting. So yeah, there's a lot of people that want the gear, especially when let's be honest, it's hard to get the gear. It's really hard to get the gear. And I'll tell you something else. Those old jerseys, those vintage jerseys, those are going to go fast because those will actually fit. That's before they started putting those tight, form-fitting jerseys together like you see today.
Yes, those are the ones that fans should want to wear to the games because they fit better for casual, players, for casual fans watching. Mm-hmm. The jerseys that we wear now and more recently, and like the very recent Nike jerseys and some of the ones that are not so old, are very, very tight and form-fitting. So sometimes they're not as comfortable to walk around, and they're not the same exact jersey that you'd go buy from the bookstore or something like that because they have elastic in them and other things to hold it to the pads.
Oh yeah.
But some of the more old jerseys fit just a little more, over the pads as if they were, so they're more comfortable to put on just regularly on your body, which is really nice.
No doubt about it. All right, let's get to some phone calls right now. Orly's going to start us off here today. He is up at 9 past the hour. 505-6009, our telephone number. Orly, what's going on? How are you?
I'm not going to be controversial today.
Oh, you can. You should. You should. Come on.
Anyway, I just want to congratulate. I didn't realize that Bobby Stives made the El Paso Hall of Fame.
He did. The El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame for bowling. I believe Bobby might even be the first bowler ever put into the Hall of Fame.
No, you got Phil Preto. Phil Preto's in there. There's a couple others. It's good bowler. There's another one I think the Hall of Fame needs to look at. He was a track star at UTEP, All-American, also a Hall of Fame bowler, Leon Smith.
Huh. All right. Well, at least we have precedent. There are other bowlers that have been in the Hall.
Yeah. I can't think of the other guy right now. Gene Calaro. He passed away. He was another bowler.
Oh, so is Gene's already in?
Yeah, I believe Gene's already in.
Let me see here. I'm looking for Gene. No, Gene's not in. Gene is not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, then he was for the Bowlers Hall of Fame. Okay, wrong one.
Now, who was the other ones you mentioned, just so I could double-check?
Phil Prieto.
Phil Prieto's in 2011.
Yeah.
Was Phil in specifically for bowling?
Yeah, boy, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
He was an all-pro.
Good.
He was in the pros.
Good.
Anyway, going back, great 2 days for the Sun Bowl. That's great publicity. I think it's awesome for the city of El Paso. I hope they got to go see the stadium when they played on, was it Wednesday afternoon or no, Tuesday afternoon? Great crowd, nice game, nice atmosphere, good weather.
It was Wednesday. Listen, it was Wednesday. It was yesterday afternoon. It was Tuesday night. It was Tuesday night.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to congratulate the Bobby Stives.
There you go.
And how you do? Did you get your notice?
I did. You want to fight? Yeah. You want to fight it?
Yeah. Call me. Let me see what they've done.
All right. I know what you're going to tell. I know what you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me the same thing you told me last year. Don't do anything.
You got a Homestead cap.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's not. Listen, Orly, 9%. Not when's it going to stop, Orly? 9%. When's it going to stop?
Well, the way the market was for the last 2 years, it's been hot.
Yeah, thanks. Well, we need
the real estate market's hot. Yeah, it was hot.
Time for it to cool off, my friend. Time for it to cool off.
Yeah, anyway, give me a call anyway. Let me look at it and let me review it.
All right, thanks, Orly.
All right, take care. Bye.
Orly giving me the code for the Central Appraisal District when I got my letter and told me how much my home is valued. Every year I do the same thing. I always take a photo of it, show it to Orly. He always tells me the same thing. Can't do anything, Steve. It's, it's just the market. It's the way it is. So one of these days I'm waiting for Orly to tell me, let's fight it. I want to fight it. That's what I want to do.
Yes.
I want to fight. I want to fight my value, which keeps going up $30,000 every year. It's ridiculous. It's enough already. I need to stop that. It needs to go down in price. Why is it going up every year? Why does it go down? Down in value. Come on. You get your letter yet, Adrian?
I got mine.
What? How much did you go up from last year?
I didn't go up.
BS.
I will show you. I'll send you a picture.
You're full of it. You didn't go up a dime?
Yes, I went down.
No way.
I promise you. I'll send it to you.
It went down?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How is that even possible?
I'm not questioning anything. I'm not going to question anything.
It's just so bad. Can you give your address out so that somebody listening from the Central Appraisal District, they can mark you? Oh, my. So you can be like the rest of us?
Shout out to where I live.
There you go. That's right. Good luck. 13 past the hour. You see what this is? This is what you get to look forward to as you get older. Homeowner problems and things we got to deal with, which is the Central Appraisal District letters every year with your home valuations and letting you know if your home has either gone up or, in Adrian's rare case, gone down.
Right. That might be as rare as my rent for my next lease on my apartment going down. I mean, that's what I get to look forward to, Steve. I get to look forward to my rent going up every year that my lease is up.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I did the apartment rental thing for a long time. Then I finally decided I wanted to get some tax breaks, bought the house, and now I get to deal with stuff like this every year. This is fun. The homeowner problems.
It's super fun.
Yeah, it's great stuff. 14 past as we continue here on Sports Talk 505-6009. That is our telephone number as we continue. All I know is, back to the spring game for a second. We're going to be airing it. Our coverage is going to start, I believe, at 9:45 in the morning on Saturday. John, Cole, Mondo, the whole crew is going to be out there from the Sun Bowl putting this one on the radio. It's a big deal for us. We've never put the spring game on, and I'm excited. All I can tell you is I'm ready to go.
No, it's going to be really cool. I was walking across the field today to go back to the LKD, and when I was walking through, they were demoing some of the stuff that's going to go up on the Jumbotron during the game, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's just little different things that I think are cool. I think, the slightly different, graphics for the helmets that we have put up on the screen. And there was a message from our athletic director, Jim Center, to the fans while it's going to be playing. Just little things like that are exciting. They're different. They're fun. And like I've continued to say, and I will say it, I'm really excited for people to be able to come be a part of this.
Today, Dr. Heather Wilson and Jim Center drafted players. Are you Team Center or are you Team Wilson?
I do not know yet. I have not been told. I was walking through the Hall of Champions upstairs going to weightlifting this morning, and I saw all of them drafting, and I saw the half and half split between the coaches, with some with President Wilson and some with AD Jim Center. And I know they were drafting, but I couldn't see up on the board exactly what was going on, and they were yelling at me, "Cade, don't look, just go to weights." So I don't know what team I'm on. I don't think anybody knows yet. Hopefully we'll find out tonight when we have some meetings, or maybe tomorrow morning.
All right, I'm excited for you. Regardless of what team you're on, it's going to be fun. And the only way to watch it is to be out there at the Sun Bowl. We'll be out there. Can't wait to see you out there. And trust me, can't wait for the garage sale. It's nothing like stocking up on gifts early, and we can do that. It's like Christmas in April this year, getting a chance to see what we can pick up when it's all said and done. All right, when we return, Jay Jaffe's going to come back. He's going to talk a little baseball and beer with us. We'll do that right after Charlie One, who has this traffic update. A whole hour. Little UTEP talk with Cade, UTEP football. The spring game is Saturday. Can't stress that enough. In fact, we've got a fun day planned for you on our Friday show. So tomorrow, if you tune in at 5 o'clock, a lot happening at 5. In fact, we've got Otis Pitts for the full hour. How do we is that 2 thumbs up there?
Oh, that's awesome. I'm excited for you to get in here live with Otis Pitts and talk about the wing eating challenge again.
Oh,
remember,
that's right.
You got to bring that up to him.
Oh, my God.
Right.
We're going to do that.
And you can have the coaches there for some coaches clearance. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, they're right there in the flesh. But now you finally get to talk to Otis about it.
Well, we have Coach Clark for the first 30 minutes and Coach Brown for the last 30 minutes. So I feel like knowing that discussion is going to be happening in front of the coaches, that's going to be good.
No, that's awesome. You're going to love both of those coaches, too. I do not know. Have you had a chance to talk to either of those guys?
Nope, have not.
Both great people. I mean, super high energy guys, especially Coach Clark, our DC. I mean, he's about as close as you can get to Coach Walden as far as energy goes and enthusiasm. So I have not gotten to hear him on air or come, talk in the studio or anything like that. But both Coach Brown and Coach Clark going to be a lot of fun to talk to. And we've already had Otis on here. He's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And we have Coach Q tomorrow, 4:20. Coach Quentin Demps.
By the way, I'm happy that that Quentin Demps is going to be with us. UTEP's done a really nice job of tapping into their alumni base and getting a ton of former players to be honorary coaches on Saturday. I saw the list, and I was impressed. And if you haven't seen the list, folks, here is who we are talking about as far as honorary coaches for the Orange and Blue game. The Orange team: Josh Caldwell, Bobby DeHaro, Derek Elmendorf, Calais Griffin, Will Hernandez, Tyreek James, Eric Lee, Josh Ortega, Jamard Reed, Justin Rogers, Pete Schufelt, Jadrian Taylor. That's the Orange team. That's a loaded team, by the way. My God. Here's the Blue team: Adam Ayala, Cornelius Brown, Austin Contreras, Quentin Demps, A.J. Hotchkins, Nathan Jeffrey, Kavika Johnson, Paulo Melendez, Bernard Obi, Julio Lopez, Paul Smith, Nick Usher, and Trevor Vidito. How about that, Adrian?
Okay, I love the representation through the decades. Man, please send me that list, Steve. I don't have that list.
I actually don't have that either.
Yeah, I need that. I need that list right now because I need to take some of these names in. Okay, so you've got recent grads, right? Josh Caldwell. You talked about Bobby DeHaro. These are recent grads. You also have guys who are currently playing, like not in necessarily the NFL, but playing in other professional leagues. Yeah. Cornelius Brown, up until recently, was playing in a lot of different professional leagues. He's a great name right there. I haven't heard his name in a long time. Another guy, Justin Rogers, he played in Europe, literally through the NFL system in Europe, and now he's getting a chance to come back here. I believe he was playing in the Arena Football League that was in the States as well, so he's a really cool name.
Nah, you're right. There's some good ones. I'm airdropping it to you, by the way, so hopefully that thing comes thugh and you'll be all set. There you go. You'll have that full list. That is a good list, though. That is a really good list of former players, and there you go, Cade. Everybody that is going to have the opportunity to be out there on Saturday going to see a list of terrific former Miners. I mean, we are talking about really a who's who of the last 30 years, going back all the way to the days of Paul Smith. I'm excited.
This is good. I mean, this is really awesome stuff. The Paul Smith edition, I mean, that's a great one in itself. We obviously know Shea Smith, his son, is a signee for UTEP, so that makes a lot of sense there. Kavika Johnson, there's a great name.
Yep.
I love the Nathan Jeffrey, who's currently coaching here in El Paso, and Julio Lopez connection, along with Trevor Vidito. Those three are current coaches here in the city. Oh, meanwhile, Paulo Melendez, after his UTEP playing days, he ran Horizon, that Scorpions football program, and now he's also an assistant across El Paso as well. So you got great representation.
How about A.J. Hotchkins coming back into the fold at UTEP and being a part of this?
Cade, you ready for some MMA stuff?
Oh my gosh, I'm just excited. Like I said, I don't know what team I'm on. Both of these would be wonderful to be on, but if you see me, wait, is he on the blue team?
He's on the blue team. A.J. Hotchkins is on the blue team.
If I'm on the blue team, me and AJ are turning up at the game. I mean, it's going to be nuts.
That guy's got more energy and passion. And by the way, let me say this about A.J. Hotchkins. He had 2 really good seasons at UTEP when he transferred over from Oregon. Like, he was an impact player. I always felt bad because AJ got banged around a lot and beat up a lot because he played such a physical style of football. He wasn't afraid to dish it out, and sometimes the more physical you play, I mean, your body pays the price. But here's a guy that has turned into a terrific MMA prospect now in the pro circuit, and still we'll talk about his UTEP days. And he is a former Miner.
Yeah, I mean, AJ was somebody who got a chance to play Canadian football after UTEP and the, I guess it was the AAF at the time, the American Alliance of Football or whatever, but he led Conference USA in tackles, so co-led with an Old Dominion linebacker as well that year in 2019, his final season. Nick Usher, a similar kind of prototype, right? Because Nick Usher had a lot of success at UTEP, and then he parlayed that into a CFL contract. He actually took it, unlike AJ. AJ took the MMA route, but Nick Usher played in the Canadian Football League for a while, and I believe either he's still a part of it or he just wrapped up his career, but Nick Usher was definitely a household name here in El Paso when he was playing under Sean Kugler, and it's really cool that he's coming back as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's great names all the way around. I feel like a lot of Miner fans, this is what you want. You want to see players that you know. You want to see players that you cheered on. And more than anything, you want to see guys come back. you want to make this an annual thing where not just, it's not just a game for the current players, but it's a game for the alumni as well.
No doubt. I mean, the cool thing, too, is you want to make this event fun for everybody. So, yes, it's a showcase. Yes, it's big time for all of us players who want to play well in it. We want to be able to showcase, all the work that we've put in. But you also want it to be fun for everybody, and that's what's cool about having these players come back is, for me, some of these guys are former teammates, Having Jadrian Taylor, having Tyreek James, guys like that. Those guys were on the squad with me. Those guys were my first year and second year of being part of this team and being able to go do that. So having guys like that come back and then making it just a fun event for everybody feels a little bit more like a family, and family with generations in it is really cool.
I think so, too. I'm excited. Excited for everybody that's going to be out there on Saturday for so many reasons. The game is something. Look, the garage sale is going to be fun because we're going to see all this gear. We're going to get all this gear that we can buy as long as you bring a credit card. But the game itself, I am so interested. That game is something that I've been waiting for quite a while because, again, we've talked about this at length, but we'll say it again. We haven't seen you practice. We've only had the chance to watch individual workouts, but when the team stuff starts, we are told to leave, and we are not allowed in, which means that nobody in the media, nobody has seen any of the team drills over the last month that culminates on Saturday. So like all the fans that are going to be there watching this offense for the first time, we're going to be the ones watching this offense for the first time.
No doubt. And there's two sides to this. Number one is that's the excitement that Coach was trying to, build up with nobody not really knowing anything about what's been going on and then having this wonderful, awesome, exciting event, which is the spring game. And the other side of that as a player is, it could go both ways, right? When you only see one game, one practice of the players that have gone out there, then, that's a very small sample size. So I hope everybody goes out there. I hope everybody has a great game. But, the other side of that is that the fans and people that are in the media and everyone sitting in the stands, they haven't gotten to see the last 14 practices that all of us have had, There's been a lot of growth from practice 1 to practice 14, and then the 15th will be this spring game. There's a lot that's gone on from there, but you're getting, the very small sample size of what the game is.
So the point is, as we head to the bottom of the hour in SportsCenter with Adrian coming up next, this is your last practice. You are done outside of the spring game, and then you're going to start the rest of your spring and summer conditioning leading up to fall practice. So Saturday means everything for you, and it means everything for this entire team.
No doubt about it. And sometimes people don't understand, how the offseason of football works, but you get those 15 practices during the spring, and then once that ends, you don't play and practice football again until fall camp. And that doesn't happen until late July. So we don't get to put on helmets and shoulder pads, and we don't get to actually go run and do full practices or anything else like that until that fall camp time comes. So that was exactly my message to the team about halfway through the practice that we just had on Wednesday was don't take a rep for granted, don't take a drive for granted, because you only get so many more of these, and not just in your career, but in the next 2 days, in the next couple days, because before you know it, the spring game's going to be over, and then you don't get to wake up in the morning and put the helmet and the shoulder pads on and go play football. It's going to be running, and it's going to be weightlifting, and it's going to be meetings and other things like that. But it's not going to be going out and playing the sport. So, cherish it while you have it right here. Go make the most of it, and let's have a great spring game.
What can fans expect from you, Cade? What are they going to see from you on Saturday for the spring game?
Yeah, that's a great question. I hope that, the fans that got to see me last year for the latter half of the season, they're going to get to see a little bit different side of me and a different offense. The way we operated last year is very different than the operations this year. But hopefully they get to see some of the same stuff where, my message to the receivers last year when I got in there was trust and love. I'm going to allow you guys to go make plays and give a chance to have playmakers go make big plays and do what they do. And that offense allows me to go do this. So I hope that you kind of see some of the same things for that, in the sense that I'm going to go out there and distribute the ball and try to have, everybody put them in a position to go flourish. And the other thing that this offense has is a lot of energy, and it takes a lot from the quarterback to be a leader, to go command the offense and be a general of the field. And I hope that fans, when they go out there, they can expect that from me and see that out on the field.
All right, good answers. As we hit the bottom of the hour, let's go to Adrian for SportsCenter. Then we're back to phone calls, more with Cade as we continue 600 ESPN El Paso. 505-6009. Alberto, before I get to the calls, I got to ask you, you just listened to Cade talk about what to expect Saturday. What are you looking forward to at the spring game?
I think just getting a look at the new guys, that's what I'm most excited for, and seeing the amount of reps different guys get and at what positions, and seeing if any guys are moving around from what they came in playing and what they're playing now and how they're being used. It's just I just really want to see the team, just like everybody else. I haven't seen them practice, so I just want to see that pigskin getting thrown around, and then I'll know all is good in life, all is balanced.
Okay, so as far as you're concerned, the pigskin, and you'll be happy.
If the ball is in the air, I'm good.
Okay. Happy that you've had a chance to spend all these practices in the Sun Bowl versus Glory Field?
Yes, actually. I'm a big fan of that. And I really like Glory Field. It's not like I don't. I think it's actually probably one of the prettier, nicer backdrops of practice fields around the country. Mm-hmm. I like where it's situated. However, it doesn't get better than the Sun Bowl. And I think that practicing in your stadium is an advantage. I understand that other universities across the nation probably have, bigger, practice facilities with multiple fields, and sometimes that allows operations to be a little bit easier, but there's nothing like playing in your stadium. And the more you play in it, the less it becomes a shock on Saturdays when you go in there and you're in front of a bunch of people. Now you're still in the same environment. There's just butts in the stands, So that's kind of what happens, and I really enjoy playing in the Sun Bowl because I think it's one of the best stadiums in the country.
So I was on Twitter and X, and I saw this comment from somebody that was talking about Wyoming football, and they asked him about EA Sports, and he was talking about the fact that when they were putting the game together, EA asked the school about all the trophies they have. So I started to think about this. I wonder if EA contacted UTEP, and UTEP was able to show them the brass spittoon, the silver spade, the pickaxe that you take coming down off the the Durham Center. I wonder if all those little extras are going to be included in the game this upcoming season.
I really hope they are. Like I've said this before, the more detailed that EA goes with this game, the farther that it's going to go, and it's going to make it as memorable as it could be.
Yeah, I think so too. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, Domingo joining us next, 36 past the hour as Sports Talk continues. 505-6009. What's going on, Domingo?
Sure. Hey, guys, how y'all doing?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Fine. Hey, I love your shows that you did from the convention center. I like what you said about we need the bowl season. Bowl games are very important, not only for us, but for the whole team, for the whole football team, small, big, so we can see the travel. At least I'm thankful. At least I got to see a bowl game when I was a UTEP student, go to the New Mexico Bowl. And, yeah, we lost to BYU, but at least it was worth it.
There you go. You went out, you saw the game, you're a part of it, and you got to say you went to a bowl game at UTEP. I like that. I think that's good, and let's hope the Miners get back to another one.
And the best Sun Bowl I ever went was also the same year, 2010, when Notre Dame came to town, and everybody everybody knows sorry about that, but everybody knows when Notre Dame comes to town, everyone wants to go see this. And everybody knows that El Paso and Notre Dame has one thing in common. We're both Catholics, even me. If Notre Dame ever comes back to El Paso, you know what's going to happen. Instant sellout. But, yeah, bowl season is very important for the whole country and for El Paso because, hey, we got the best team.
Did you go last December when Notre Dame was here a second time?
Yep.
What was better for you, the first or the second time?
The first one. Honestly, the second one, I was working the game, bud.
Yeah.
But I was busy doing something else very important during the game.
That's right. I mean, there's sometimes, nothing. And it's always better the best the first time around. I get you, man. I get you. Domingo, appreciate the call. Thanks for getting in. So there you go. UTEP student, 2010. Goes to the game, watches the New Mexico Bowl, and then gets to see Notre Dame come and play Miami. That's a pretty good year.
Oh, it's awesome. And like we were talking about the other day, bowl games are awesome. They're great for college football. They're part of the culture that makes up college football. Bowl games are not going anywhere, and I hope that they only increase and get better and better as time goes on.
I'm with you. All right, 38 past, the Sports Talk rolls along. When we come back, results of yesterday's UTEP men's basketball poll that we put up. We'll tell you exactly what you voted on as we continue right here, 600 ESPN El Paso. 46 past the hour as we continue here on Sports Talk. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Lola Rose That's right. It's our latest dining deal. You have the opportunity to take advantage of $50 to Lola Rose for just $25. They serve brunch every day, 9 to 3, dinner from 3 to 10, and that's Monday through Thursday, 10 p.m. And how about this? Midnight is when they wrap things up, Friday and Saturday. Oh, I love it. $50 gift certificate to Lola Rose for just $25. Whether it's brunch, seafood, sandwiches, burgers. Adrian, we tried it a couple of days ago. The food was fantastic. They've got something for everybody.
Yeah, and you think about a $50 certificate that'll only cost you $25 on our website for Seize the Deal and dining deals. I mean, come on. This is a great deal right there. You're going to definitely rack up that $50 tab at Lola Rosa, and that's just a credit to all the great stuff that they have out there. And it's because you want to try the appetizers. You want to have something in addition to your entree.
Yep.
And then maybe even get a nice drink to go with that as well.
Lola Rose, folks, 7470 Cimarron Market Avenue, Building 5, Suite 100. You can't miss it in the Cimarron area. It's Lola Rose. It's tomorrow, 10 a.m., dining deals. You want to take advantage? Go to 600ESPNElPaso.com, click the must-read bar, and then you are all set and ready to go. We held a poll yesterday on Twitter and X. Asked you, with the remaining scholarships the Miners have, which is 2, what type of player would you like to see the Miners get? We had 159 votes. Excellent. Of the 159 votes, just 2.5% of you voted defensive specialist. You don't want that.
They feel like they already have that maybe in Otis Frazier III.
I mean, but he can score.
He can.
He can light it up. 8.8% of you went with combo wing.
Not a fan either.
40.9% said a big/forward.
And this one held the lead pretty well into the night, I would think, Steve.
I think so, too. 47.8% knockdown three-point shooter. So between a big/forward and a knockdown three-point shooter, 88.7% of those that voted took care of those two.
Yeah, I was just talking to Alberto here. He made a great point. These are positions that you talk about that are highly regarded across basketball. You know, you're talking about a big. Those are hard to come by in the transfer portal. A knockdown three-point shooter, if you're going over 40%, chances are, and I'm not just sugarcoating this, chances are you're making six figures in NIL money when it comes to any team across the country.
Trey Chauvin said, get a good power forward that's mobile and versatile. Fernando said stretch 4 would be huge. So we'll see what they go. I mean, I'm very interested to see what happens. And you want to know something? If they go 2 guards in their last 2 Scullies, but they're both legit guards that can play, and now they got a deep backcourt where you've got guys like Terrell, Horton, and then you've got still coming back Camper.
Yes.
And then you bring in the one they signed yesterday,
Bynum,
which is Bynum, and then potentially the kid from Tarleton State.
Barnes, that's correct. Davion Barnes.
Listen, I would love to have a 5 or 6 guard rotation that can all play. Don't forget about Trey Horton. They got good guards.
Yeah, I mean, next year you're bringing back those guys that you just mentioned and maybe mixing it in with some of the newcomers. Bynum's going to play that guard position if they're able to land Barnes, which, by the way, Barnes is making an appearance to the city of El Paso on an official visit. He is the Tarleton State transfer who scored 13 a game for Tarleton last year. He's going to be making a trip out here to El Paso this weekend, so if you see him at the spring game, that's the guy that UTEP's after right there. And on the flip side, then it makes me really think, Steve, what do you do with that last one? It just makes me think if they're able to somehow grab Barnes, I don't necessarily think he's a knockdown three-point shooter. He adds guard depth for you. But then what do you do with that final scholarship? And I think our listeners are really hoping for a true knockdown three-point shooter or a big who can help out down low.
Yeah, it sure seems like that's what they want. That's good. I like it. Point is, UTEP has options. And it's nice having options right now. It really is.
It's nice to also have NIL that can help support all of this, right? Because, I mean, it's fun to talk about all these recruits and all these recruits, but in basketball, the game has completely changed, and it's completely changed in the portal and with NIL.
Yep.
Conversations don't even start if you're program doesn't have some sort of an NIL arm. And that's just the reality. And people might roll their eyes and think, this is just ridiculous in college basketball. But it's the reality. You want difference makers, you got to be competitive with NIL.
More UTEP news. About 4 hours ago, the UTEP tennis team got their first win at the CUSA tournament in 15 years. They swept Sam Houston, which is big for them. So congratulations to the UTEP tennis team. And again, a dominant performance today when it mattered most.
No, it was really awesome. I actually got to watch some of the match, and I'm friends with a lot of the tennis team. I'm so happy for them. I know how much work they've been putting in, and I know how much this meant to them. It was really awesome to see them go out and compete and then go out and get a great win, and now they're on to FIU.
That's right. By the way, is FIU the number one seed in the tournament?
They are, and they are hosting the tournament. I think you just mentioned that. They're out there in Miami right now, so they are going to have to play the number one seed, but I have a lot of belief in them. They played a great last match, and I'm hoping they can carry that into the next one.
I love the Cinderella story that is UTEP tennis, and good for them getting into the quarters for the first time in 15 years. That's progress, and hopefully they can make it matter most.
Yeah, and I know that they've had a lot of changes with their regime, whether it's coaching staff turnover or just roster turnover, whatever it might be. So for them to have success when they were pretty much counted out here at this point, it's encouraging to see.
Yeah, it really is. So there were some matches that were unfinished, but I'll say this: even in the unfinished matches, UTEP was ahead. They were. I mean, it was a dominant performance. It really was. They won in they won in doubles. They won in singles. They won a couple of matches by forfeit. That's big.
That's exactly what you wanted to see, right? I mean, they were in an advantageous position with only having 2 out of the 3 courts playing for doubles, so they were already up 1 in that, and there was no 6 for the singles. So you wanted to see them go out there and be able to handle business, and that's what they did. From court to court to court, they handled Sam Houston, and that's exactly what you're going to need going to play the number 1 seed in FIU tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it. So good luck to the Miners, and hopefully they can keep this going. And boy, I'll tell you what. If they find a way to knock off FIU, the number 1 seed, basically in their backyard, that would be a huge, huge boost to this program.
Yes, 100%. It would be huge. It would be awesome for the entire team. Shout out to the entire tennis team. They're all great people. Shout out to my friend Elena DiBattista, too, the senior on the team and team captain. Really just looking forward to all those girls going out and playing a great match tomorrow.
Cade shout-outs going on right now. A little Elena DiBattista shout-out. Very nice.
Absolutely.
All right. Again, the point is, we've talked about this before, student athletes support student athletes. We had the track and field team in a few weeks back. We talked to them, and they were very much engaged with you and the football program, and I think all of a sudden realizing that everybody just wants to see everybody else succeed.
100%. I mean, like I said, having the training room in the Larry K. Durham Center to kind of have athletes come together and mingle in one area goes a long way in all of our programs coming together, and that spreads throughout all the sports teams, right? When you have people in a place where they can converse and kind of talk, it's nice. And then it's awesome to come on the show with them, and for me and you and Adrian to get to talk with them and kind of share some common ground and put that out to the public. It's really cool. So maybe we can get some of the tennis team on here too after their tournament and talk with them and kind of see how it goes with that.
Would love that. All right, 1 hour in the books. We still have 2 to go. We're taking you up till 6:30, and then it's Chihuahuas baseball. Stay with us. More in a moment. 600 ESPN El Paso.
Sports Studio. Here's Steve Kaplowitz and Adrian Broadus.
All right, here we go. Start of hour number 2 on Sports Talk. Welcome back, everybody. We've got the full crew here today. It's about to grow, too, because in just a minute, Mr. Schoolyard Sports himself will be walking in, Lane Frank, and joining us for that segment. Maybe we can get Jeff Erickson on early today. Maybe we can see if we can pop him on right now if he's got time.
Okay.
And we can spend the beginning of our 5 o'clock hour doing a little fantasy talk with Jeff. That would be great. And get this thing officially off the ground and rolling. Since we didn't have Jay on, it would be nice if we could spend a little time with Jeff and go from there. So let's see how that works, and then we can talk a little fantasy sports from rotowire.com, your one-stop shop for fantasy. And then before you know it, it will be time for none other than Mr. Schoolyard Sports, Lane Frank. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. We've got Cade here for about the next 30, 35 minutes as well, and then it'll be time for us to get you ready for Chihuahuas baseball before you know it. NBA playoffs have already started. Any surprises, Cade, with what you've seen earlier, or have you not even had a chance to follow the NBA playoffs so far?
I mean, I haven't had a ton of time to go follow it. I caught a bit of the Hawks game last night, but I haven't got a whole ton of time to watch it. But what I will say is I am excited for my Clippers. I'm excited for them to go play the Mavs. I have high hopes for the playoffs. I would love to say that the Clippers are going to win a championship this year. I'm not sure. I've been let down a lot in the past, so I'm not going to get my hopes up too much. But this is the most excited I've been in a really long time.
Well, in order for them to do what you're saying, they got to get through some good teams. And you look at what happened this year. OKC and Denver had terrific seasons. So did the T-Wolves. I mean, it is a very top-heavy Western Conference like the old days. I mean, in comparison, the Knicks won 50 games, and they're the 2 seed in the East. You have 5 teams with 50 or more wins in the Western Conference.
The Western Conference is absolutely stacked. From that top of the Western Conference is really stout, and you definitely do not see that so far in the East. I feel like obviously whoever comes out of the West is going to take this one.
I do too. Oh, wow. Almost
a little fumble.
Yes. All right. By the way, Jeff Erickson is doing a radio hit right now, so he will be available at their normal 5:20 time. So that's perfect. He's aware of what's going on. Jeff's a busy man. Let's do a lot of radio hits.
He is. So, we might have a little 2-guest appearance here.
Hey, I don't have a problem with Lane throwing fantasy questions at Jeff. Actually, I'd really like it if Lane and Cade took care of the fantasy segment and we just sat back and listened to those two do the segment, don't you?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
You still up to speed on all your fantasy?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're in the off season, but we're still up to speed.
Well, we mean off season. It's baseball.
No? We're going baseball fantasy.
We don't play fantasy baseball in the McConnell house.
Oh my goodness, Steve. Okay, hold on. Let me say this for everyone out there. Whoever plays fantasy baseball, I have a gigantic amount, and I know you're a baseball guy. That's why I'm saying this. I have a gigantic amount of respect for people who play extremely competitive fantasy baseball.
I'm in 7 leagues.
That's even crazier because one league in fantasy baseball I feel like is already a full-time job on top of your full-time job that you already have.
100% right.
So I can promise you this, Steve. I will probably never be playing fantasy baseball until I am out of college football because that is a full-time job in itself right there.
Speaking of college football, yesterday we learned, or 2 days ago we learned, that Jake McNamara will be going into the transfer portal. His brother Kyle went in as well, and they are now looking for new homes. How about hearing the story that 14 Colorado players entered the transfer portal this week? Another just mass turnover for Deion Sanders and his program.
A big turnover. I mean, that's a lot of guys to leave right after the spring. I would love to get a chance to talk to former guard Justin Mayers, who left this past year and who is still at Colorado, and kind of just understand what's going on over there. And are the guys that are leaving just not being able to cut it there? Are the guys that are leaving not happy with the coaching staff? There's a lot of different reasons why people get to the transfer portal, but I'd love to know more of what's going on over there because the theme that we've seen with Deion over the past couple of years is transfer in, transfer out, transfer in, transfer out. And so you'd like to know exactly, why things are happening over there because not everybody gets to be inside the building. And then as far as Jake McNamara and Kyle McNamara go, I wish them nothing but the best. I've talked about it multiple times on the show. Jake is, one of my, if not my best friend here. And so, he made the decision that was best for him and trying to go and maybe explore other options. Totally understand. But I do wish him the best because he is just such a great human being.
And I want to mention the fact, and really this was something Scotty talked about when he joined us on Monday's show. There is the possibility that more UTEP players go into the transfer portal after the spring game on Saturday. If they play, meet with their coaches, and find out that maybe their roles are not going to be as big as they want, they could look to seek play elsewhere, especially with news now that you're going to be immediately eligible. That is a big storyline in college sports, which broke yesterday, hearing that anybody who transfers out even multiple times will gain immediate eligibility in the portal. It's also going to make things much more difficult for schools like UTEP to try to retain their core team every year.
Right, because the players that are at the top of their game, knowing that they're not going to lose any eligibility, have no type of penalties, could enter the portal and explore their options, and in today's world, seek NIL. So if you have a great season and you know you can upgrade, then you immediately put your name in the portal and you kind of see what happens. And, oftentimes the NIL is a big lure to where schools go. And sometimes, you can't blame somebody, right, Steve? You can't blame somebody that had a great season that knows that if they go in the portal, they may have a six-figure NIL check coming into their next school. I mean, that's life-changing money right there, especially for somebody who's in their early 20s.
Especially if they're not receiving any NIL here or any place else. It's like if you're not getting anything and then all of a sudden the school offers you good money and you might not even have a chance to play pro ball, how do you say no to that?
No, it's really hard to say no, and that's why it's tough for schools like here at UTEP, because sometimes you can't compete with the top dollar other schools in the SEC or in other big conferences that have deep pockets in order to go recruit those type of players. But it's going to make things harder in recruiting in general. I mean, it has become extremely difficult for high school and also to junior college players to get a spot on rosters, because if you have so many transfers being able to be spread out throughout college football rosters, it makes it difficult when a coach could say, hey, I can have this guy who's 21 years old, more developed, and has played in some games, and I could take him through the transfer portal, or I might have to take a risk on this kid who's still 165 pounds and 18 years old coming out of high school. It's harder to get a scholarship now.
Do you agree that athletes should have instant eligibility, especially if they've transferred multiple times?
I am taking this from one perspective, and so it's very tough to say that. However, I would say that I don't think that you should have unlimited and free wavering ability to transfer at any point in time. I think that makes it extremely hard for recruiting. I think it makes it harder for people, like I just said, from high school and junior college to get into schools and have the opportunity to play. But most importantly, I'm a big, obviously, I'm a big proponent of wanting to stay with the team. I could have transferred last year after Coach Dimmel left with a coaching change, and nobody probably would have thought twice about that, because that's what happens in college football. You change schools. I like UTEP. I like El Paso. I want to be here, so I decided to stay. And I want to see teams last for more than a year. You know what I mean? I don't want to see the 2023 UTEP team look completely different than the 24 UTEP team, and then that happen every single year with all the transfers. I want to see team camaraderie that goes, consecutively over years to come. And sometimes that has to be, stricken down with rules. It can't all just be on the players' prerogative.
Adrian, give me your take on now the new rules saying that you can transfer and gain immediate eligibility even if it's a multiple transfer.
This is no surprise to me, and this should not be seen as a shock. The NCAA has no control over the transfer portal, no control over NIL, and this shows that while they took a step last offseason to try to put limits and restrictions there, and it quickly backfired off them because they have no structure on any of this. This is the wild, wild west. And this is a disgrace for the NCAA. Like, I feel for coaches out there who have to maneuver through this, and usually they're maneuvering through this how should we say this, unethically, like without certain the right way to do it, like not by following the rules. So that's my problems right there.
All right, what a perfect segue to our next caller. I can't wait to hear from him. He's Gator Richard, joins us on the lines right now, 12 past the hour. Go Gators!
Go Gators, man. How you guys been?
Hey, we've been well, man. How about yourself? How you holding up?
I'm doing good. Hey, I got a question before you ask me whatever you want. Okay. The summer camp for the UTEP football guys, where did they go this year?
When you mean this year, are you talking about this upcoming year, or what do you mean?
Yeah, like tell me they didn't do the Ruidoso thing again, like
right.
Don Merrill and Price and everybody else in between.
Right. In the past, I was not here on the team, but I know that for fall camp, they would go up to Ruidoso and be up away for fall camp and train there and have that before the season. In the past,
but they stopped that this year, right?
No, they stopped that after 2019. They didn't do it during COVID, and they didn't do it during 21, 22, or 23. So the last time they did Ruidoso was 2019.
Okay, well, they're not starting that back up that you know of, right?
No, not that I know of.
I wish they were. I loved it out there. We broadcasted the show live. They were fantastic hosts to us, and I miss being up there. In fact, you could have come up there with us, Gator. You could have spent some time and enjoyed yourself.
There you go. Get some gambling done.
Well,
Hey,
I mean, that's your decision, but yeah, that would have been fine
Shohei
too.
Ohtani. Okay, I got it.
There you go, Shohei. That's right. You could have done some gambling. Good point.
well, I told you that Shohei was going to be vindicated from this whole gambling thing. I guess that interpreter guy swindled over $14 million.
Yeah, you really believe that, Mr. Conspiracy Theory? You don't think that he was just the fall guy when this was all said and done?
Well, I mean, it's not just Shohei's. My understanding, he was stealing from other people too.
Yeah, of course he was. You betcha. Yeah, sure.
What's the latest on that?
Hey, listen, all I know is this. You think everything is fixed. You think there's a conspiracy with everything in sports, and you're going to go down to the end and saying, hey, good to see they cleared Shohei. He was innocent of all of it. I like that.
Well, I mean, the last show you did, you're rehashing again. You said the same thing. Out of March Madness, there's no conspiracy.
Yeah.
And I said, you mean like having a different angle to dangle for the 3-point line, and that one was closer than the other.
Yeah.
One side was closer to the other. I mean, that really happened, right?
It did. That's 100% correct. Look, we'll move on, but congrats. I mean, Shohei's innocent, and it's all on the interpreter, and now he's done. And we can just move on to baseball as normal, right?
Well, I mean, what do you want to talk some baseball?
I mean, you're the one that called into the show. You're not a feature guest. It's not like we're throwing topics at you. I mean, you're the one calling in. What do you want to talk about? In fact, you've already had 4 minutes, Adrian? Is he past the end?
No, I think he asked for a longer segment this time.
But it's already quarter past. Should we give him another minute? See what he's got.
Let's see one more point that he's got.
You sure?
Got this. I
one
think
more,
so.
one more
so.
point from Gator. All right, Gator, you get one more point. What is it?
All right. How about while we're on the subject of the basketball thing? Okay, so that young lady got drafted number 1 overall.
Caitlin Clark, yes.
Do you think that she's the best player overall?
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay, out of all those other girls
yes.
that are getting drafted.
Yes. Do you think she was the best player in college basketball this season?
Well, I mean, the numbers show it. I'm just saying that, some of these other teams, I mean, they're going to pass up on some gal that's 6'7". You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Size is everything in that game.
Size is everything. Just don't tell that to Steph Curry and guys that have made a living being 6 foot and being able to produce and win championships. So
that's true. That's true too. But I'm just saying, on paper when you look at it, you pass on someone that's 6'7".
That's true. Dominant post. You're right.
Then you got some answering to do.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, good job today, Richard. Excellent call. Did well. Appreciate you. And by the way, we're dropping Ohtani's gambling thing. You won't hear that anymore during your calls. We'll be straight up with you. So there we go.
We'll just go to the next thing, LSU, or hey, there's a change in the SEC now. So we'll talk a lot of Florida Gators, especially with football season. 5 months away.
Looking forward to it. Lane's going to be dropping by, and so will our fantasy guy Jeff Erickson. In fact, we'll see if Lane and Cade want to handle most of that fantasy talk next. Stay with us. Sports Talk continues right after Charlie 1 in this traffic update. On Sports Talk, Jeff Erickson from RotoWire is going to be joining us momentarily, as is the one and only Lane Frank from Schoolyard Sports. What are you now, 165?
165 just dropped.
Good for you. How you been, all right?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. Weather's starting to heat up. You're getting a nice tan playing tennis out there at Coronado High School. Excellent.
Probably need to start wearing some more sunscreen.
Are you one of those people that don't want to wear sunscreen because you feel like you could basically get sun forever and it doesn't really matter? You just get a good tan?
I think even if I wear sunscreen, I still get burnt, still get tan. It's not going to help me.
Cade, are you the same way growing up in SoCal, where our next guest is going to be joining us, Jeff Erickson? Do you feel almost like, you've never really had to worry about sun exposure throughout your career?
Yeah, I maybe my mom used to make me wear it when I was little kind of thing, but for my, adolescent and adult life, sunscreen has not been a priority for me. I honestly, would I go as far as to say, as part of me does not believe in sunscreen? Yes. There's part of me that does not believe in it.
Really?
Like, not that it won't, I think it does protect you from the sun, but like, I'm
Yeah.
also, I think, a believer that like there's probably harmful stuff in sunscreen too.
You think so? Let's ask Jeff. Let's see what he says. From rotowire.com. He lives out in Southern California. But I've seen Jeff over the years, and I'm just looking at his skin complexion. I've got a feeling Jeff Erickson wears a lot of sunscreen when he's outside. Am I right or wrong?
If I remember, I'm good on the golf course at remembering to put it on because that's where I get the most exposure. Try to keep it under the eyes. I think that's the big key there. Never get it in the eyes. Then it's a nightmare. But I also had a basal skin cancer cell removed about 4 years ago, so I'm a little bit more cognizant of that now. It will catch you at some point, so wear it when you can.
There you go. All right, good advice. That's a good public service announcement from Jeff Erickson and RotoWire. I like that. Excellent. Fantasy-wise, let's talk baseball right now. More guys going on the IL. I saw that Tyler O'Neill went after that collision with Rafael Devers, and his MRI revealed a bone bruise from when they were going into each other on Monday during that day game against Cleveland. Not good news if you're a Bo Sox fan, especially because Rafael's been slow out of the gate this year, and Tyler O'Neill's been the best hitter on the team.
Yeah, first it was the shoulder that Devers missed 4 games for. Then, now this knee and the bone bruise there, and O'Neill in the concussion protocol. In fact, at first it looked like O'Neill had emerged from the concussion protocol, and then he went back on the 7-day IL, which, it just shows. Although I think that is I think it's retroactive, so at least he can come back next week. But yeah, he had been, this is the heart of their order. It's the best player and their hottest player, respectively, in the case of Devers and O'Neill. And it just tears apart the middle of that lineup. They already lost Trevor Story for the season, too. And this is after an offseason where they didn't make massive improvements by any stretch. So they're kind of hoping for the likes of Rafaela and others to kind of step up. And Rafaela and Abreu have been getting off to slow starts. So it hurts this offense. They had a nice start to the season, that road trip out West Coast, where they faced some lesser teams at least lesser lineups in the case of Oakland, Seattle, and the Angels, and then they came home and just had a disastrous homestand.
Meanwhile, earlier today, Jack Leiter made his big league debut for the Rangers, got beaten around pretty good, and Rangers still won the game. But Jack Leiter has not been a can't-miss prospect like everybody thought when he was drafted out of college in Vanderbilt. He's had a tough time, but came out good in AAA this year to start the season and found himself in the bigs.
Yeah, he got through that first inning, and then the Tigers got you in that 4-run second inning. And what I noticed is, despite all the strikeouts he's piled up this year, 25 to 3 K to walk going into, in 3 games at AAA, over 14 innings, he had trouble putting away major league hitters. He got to 0-2, and they'd get hits off of him, made some pretty good contact. There's a play in his last inning, in the 4th inning there, where the center fielder probably should have made the catch and didn't. It got him a little unlucky, but the point was they're getting real contact off of him. And that's the thing. It's been with Leiter, in the start of his professional career, command was an issue. Walks were an issue. Now I think it's more about just the finishing touches. I wouldn't be too discouraged, but this is definitely going to pump the brakes on those free agent bids that we're going to have over the weekend for him.
Let's talk about more pitching, fantasy pitchers. Ranger Suarez has come out of the gates looking really good for Philadelphia this year.
Yeah, he sure has. Helps when you get a home start against the Rockies. That tends to make things look a little bit better. But he was great the other day. And the Phillies, they have a good rotation. When Suarez and Christopher Sanchez are 3-4 for you, you're doing pretty well. So I think that's a nice little aspect to that rotation there. But yeah, Suarez, he had a stretch in 2022 where he was a league winner right when they converted him from relief to starting. I know a lot of people had jumped on that, really profited.
Seen a lot of traction on Christian Scott of the Mets. He gave up 1 run over 5 innings last night for Syracuse, struck out 10. The Mets don't want to rush him, though. So you tell me, good or bad if you are a fantasy player and you want to get Christian Scott up soon?
Yeah, we all want to get new blood. We all want to have the guys that we're excited about. But as we saw with Leiter today, sometimes you need more seasoning at AAA. AAA is a real jump. And there's a big jump from AAA to the majors on top of that. So, it's not the worst thing in the world to be a little patient. Especially you look at the Mets. I know they're off to a reasonably decent start in the NL East, but I think we all know that they're not one of the top teams in their division, let alone the National League. Both the Braves and the Phillies, I think, are better teams than the Mets. Take your time with Scott. I don't even think it's service time manipulation. I think this is development. I think he needs a few more starts at AAA. I think sometimes we get so eager and we compare it to the worst starter in the team's major league rotation, like, oh, he's already better than him. True, he might be, but I think what's best for his development may not be to call him up right now.
Colton Cowser seems to be the biggest riser this week in fantasy baseball, the outfielder with Baltimore. What can you tell us about him?
Kind of a post-hype sleeper, if you will. He was always a top-rated prospect, had a really rough debut. And this is a reminder to any prospect that's going through a rough debut right now that, these things often happen. They don't always hit the ground running. And in the case with Cowser, he had to have a really good spring just to earn a roster spot, and then he had to get off to a good start to earn more playing time over Austin Hayes. And that seems to be coming to fruition. I still think he'll sit against the occasional lefty. More often than not, he's hitting towards the bottom of the order. He and Jordan Westburg both. And that's the funny thing is because Baltimore's so rich in young players, Cowser and Westburg were kind of flying in under the radar, whereas in other organizations, they'd be the shining star in the system.
How long do you think they're going to give Holiday if he continues to struggle with his first big league promotion?
Good question. I think he'll come around, first of all. But, it's a perfect reminder that, sometimes, that making that jump is hard. I think they'll give it a little bit of time still, but at some point in time, they've got Kobe Mayo knocking down the door. They've got Connor Norby at AAA. They're just coming out of their years and hitting prospects there. It's a great problem for them to have. It's not even a problem. Depth is a beautiful thing. It's not great for us from a fantasy perspective sometimes, just because we want to identify one player that's going to get all the playing time.
Jeff Erickson with us from RotoWire as we approach the bottom of the hour. I'll ask you some other names before we wrap things up, and guys that are up to the big leagues for the first time. Dodgers outfield prospect Andy Pages. Does this have a chance to be something that will be more than just a temporary promotion for him?
Yeah, I think so. I think this was done on his merit and the struggles of Chris Taylor. Taylor, I think, was 1 for 33 going into yesterday's games. I didn't see if he got in there then, but with 17 strikeouts and 39 total plate appearances, drawn a couple of walks in there to kind of boost that up. But Pages had a huge spring training. He got hurt last year, so his playing time last year in the minors was limited. But this guy is he's all that. He's a top 50 prospect. Okay. And, it's great that they've got another guy coming through the pipeline. He's out of Cuba. The Dodgers did a good job with their international scouting there. And the Dodgers, that's the thing is, they don't have any early draft picks, but their farm system's loaded somehow. Unlike Baltimore now, Houston and the Cubs in the past, where they tore it down to the studs and then rebuilt with all these early draft picks, the Dodgers haven't had that. And yet they still have this loaded farm system. It's crazy.
They do. And thank you for correcting me on Pages. I guess when you're from Cuba, it makes sense where the G is pronounced like an H. So that's good.
And I struggle with this, too. I think I called it Pages at one point in time, and I was corrected on air. So that was fun, too. So don't worry. It's a tough one.
What should we expect from Justin Verlander tomorrow's season debut against the Nats?
Boy, oh boy, I don't know, man. He hasn't pitched well in a while. He got his pitches in on his rehab assignment, but the results weren't great. He did throw 77 pitches at least. I expect him to probably be limited to 5 innings or so. Yeah. And, even at the end of the year last year, he struggled a little bit. He's a guy coming back from a shoulder problem. Then again, it's Justin Verlander. That's the trade-off. I think if you have him, you're probably starting him regardless, but I'm not super excited to see what he does here. I think the Astros, they need a good outing from him. They're 6-14 now, really rough start for them, and they need that. If it weren't for Ronel Blanco, I don't know where this team would be right now.
Give me a preview of what you've got up at rotowire.com.
We got a special midweek Thursday free agent article that we do every week now, too, because a lot of people do their free agents on Thursdays in addition to Sundays. We'll have our full factor over the weekend, all sorts of minor league content, all sorts of the latest news and the injury information that goes with it. Rotowire.com/free gives you a peek behind the paywall there. If you got a trade question, use our Ask an Expert service. We'll get back to you within 24 hours.
Excellent stuff. Jeff, I appreciate your flexibility this week. We'll look forward to getting things back on schedule with you next week. And until then, take care and thanks for the time.
My pleasure. Thanks, Steve.
You got it. He's Jeff Erickson joining us every week here on the program as we continue. All right. As promised, Lane Frank, Schoolyard Sports, 165, dropped this afternoon. He is with us right now, along with the brand new Hall of Famer himself, Jerry Rubin, who was getting into the media contributor category, supportive athletics for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Listen, you're with us every week. So is your grandfather. But now we can call him Hall of Famer. That means something, doesn't it?
It really does. I know. Maybe he wants to say something about it.
You think he will? You think he'll get on the mic and say anything? Well, let's find out. Jerry, welcome aboard. First off, you haven't been with us in a couple of weeks, not since we first heard the news that you're going to be part of the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. What was your reaction when you first got the call and heard the news?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Go ahead, Jerry. Yeah, should be okay.
I was really surprised because it's something I didn't apply for, and they called me and they said, you've been nominated, and then they had a vote and they voted me in. So it was beyond my expectations. I never thought I was going to be in the Athletic Hall of Fame.
Well, let's put it this way. You've had a big impact in a lot of things, from sponsoring the Sun Bowl, the Helen of Troy softball complex as well. You have always been a big supporter of sports and athletics here in El Paso over the years as you started to really, I think, develop your businesses and grow those. Would you say?
Yeah, thank you. I used to go in college. I would sit behind the bench. I went to every single UTEP basketball game. I went to all the football games. I actually started in high school when they used to play in the Coliseum. And since when I was in college and afterwards, I try to make as many basketball games as I can and as many football games as I can because I'm an alumni of Texas Western UTEP.
Have you started working on your speech yet?
Yes, I
good.
have.
All right. It's not till June. You've got time, but that's good. I'm happy you're doing that. I'll be emceeing the event, so I'll look forward to seeing
June 26th. They're having a big dinner.
Yes, that's right. So you've got a few months, but I'm happy you've already started working on it.
Okay.
Now, my bigger question was going to be, can you be like your grandson? Can you wing the whole thing? Can you scrap the speech, put away the cards, just get on the microphone like Lane, and just start talking?
Not really. He's an exceptional person. I can't do that. I'll have to have some notes, and I'll probably I have too many stories to tell, so I need some notes.
I understand. Lane, you going to give Grandpa any tips when it comes to this?
Talk about sports. Talk about funny things. Have personality. That's all I'll say.
Talk about sports. Talk about funny things, and have a personality. Those are your top 3 tips for Jerry's Hall of Fame speech.
Have personality, number 1.
They tell me I have 4 or 5 minutes, and then they ring a bell, and
they do. They're going to give you the hook,
and then they're going to throw me out.
Yeah, that's why you've got to tell the best stories. You got to make them laugh right out of the gate, is what you have to do. So that'll be good. But you've got time. You got 2 months.
You know, I thought they were selecting me because I used to be a yo-yo champion when I was in the 6th grade at Mesita School, but I guess they didn't mention that.
You could be the first ever yo-yo champion from 6th grade going into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame.
There you go.
Maybe we could put that in there as a little sub-note during your Hall of Fame plaque. We could put yo-yo champion.
It'll be great, but I hope they don't ask me for an exhibition because I haven't practiced my yo-yo in a long time.
You've got time. You've got 2 months. You can work on the yo-yos when you work on the speech. I love it. All right, Lane, we'll get back to you right now, but I know you have said the last couple of weeks you're pretty excited about your grandfather and what's going to happen with him going into the Hall.
For sure. Great thing for El Paso. Great thing for El Paso sports. Glad he got into it.
What'd you talk about with 165 here this afternoon?
So 165's a funny episode. So I had the Dave's Hot Chicken partnership on that episode. So they brought the food over. And for the hot take segment, my NBA playoff hot takes, between each hot take, I would eat the scorching hot chicken from Dave's. It's hilarious. Go watch it. Go tune in. I don't know if the video's out yet. I know the audio version's out, though.
Now, hang on.
It may not sound great in the audio, but for the video version, it'll be funny.
Now, when you said you had the scorching hot, are you talking about the Reaper?
Not the Reaper.
Or
just
the extra hot?
I didn't get that hot. I got mild, but still. Dave's Hot Chicken is spicy.
Wait, you got mild?
Oh, you got the mild?
And you're complaining? You said you got extra
last
hot?
Time I got the hot,
mild?
last time I got the hot, it was pretty bad. Went to the mild on the show. Didn't want to get too crazy. But, get hot chicken, do a hot take. That's how it works.
All right. By the way, let me ask you this. If we bring the Reaper to the station, not next week, but the week after, okay, My question is this. Will you try the Reaper
Without
on
a
air?
doubt. I'd love to try the Reaper.
So you will try the Reaper on air?
You going to try it?
No way. Will you try it?
I'll try it.
Okay. Adrian, will you try the Reaper on air?
If it makes sense.
What does that mean?
Oh, you know what it means.
If it makes sense. Okay. Cade, will you try the Reaper on air?
I will, as long as Adrian and you do too. I don't know why. Why are you guys copping out of this?
I'm not copping out. I've already heard about the Reaper.
That's not the
and
point.
what it does.
So
and
what?
And listen, after talking to the COO of Dave's, I have no interest whatsoever in trying the Reaper. He told me about the Reaper. The Reaper, I was going to just have one individual in our place try it. One only, Alberto. Because the last time we went someplace for something spicy, Alberto's eating it and going, saying this.
Okay,
this
what
ain't
if we
bad.
go
This not
down
bad."
one from the Reaper?
That's,
If we
that's
go,
the
like-
extra hot.
Okay,
Yes.
so I've done the hot, and I've done the extra hot before. I've never done the Reaper.
Okay. How is the extra hot?
A little bit worse than the hot, but I still feel like hot, extra hot, big step up from the mild.
Yeah, I mean, I would do the extra hot. I wouldn't do the Reaper. I'm not doing the Reaper.
Okay, so then
I'm just telling you that right now. And it's not. This is nothing about being wimpy. I just have no interest. I'm at an age. Here's the deal. Difference between me and you. I'm at an age now. I don't care about that stuff anymore. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't even bother me. None.
I just
No
think
guilt,
if
no nothing.
one of us is going to be freaking out the whole show after eating it, I think all of us should.
Right.
You want? Oh, so you all want to go down and like you want
I
to go
think-
down together?
You know, everybody's
the
like, well,
Titanic?
this is a terrible hour of sports talk. Well, we all just tried the Reaper.
Oh my god!
It's like, we should just have one single Reaper, sandwich out here, and we
Yeah.
have to leave the studio with nothing,
No
left.
crumbs.
That's a great
Here's
idea,
what I've been
Adrian.
told about the Reaper. This is what they told me. Okay, you eat it, you swallow it, no problem. Seriously.
Then 10 seconds later, you're
30
dead.
seconds later, you're ready to die.
Yes.
That's what I've been told about the Reaper.
So
To the point where your eyes will water, you might throw up. I don't need that anymore. That is
I don't
not-
want that
is not-
either.
Then
Extra
let's
hot.
not. Then let's
Okay,
not do
let's-
the Reaper.
Extra hot. Come
extra
on.
hot. Let's do extra hot.
Alberto, will you do the Reaper after hearing all of that, or will you fall into the extra hot category?
I first when you before you had explained the way they explained it to you, I was halfway on board, and then you said throw up, and then I was all the way off board. So right now I'm off board.
But here's the thing. Here's what I ask. Okay, maybe your tolerance for hot food is different than mine. Maybe it's not. Maybe you're one of these rare individuals that can enjoy it, and it'll be fine with you, and you won't have as much of a problem.
I don't think that much heat. So I don't know. The throw up part doesn't sound fun, and it sounds like it burns a whole bunch. I'm not excited.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I was just throwing it out
So,
there.
Steve, this is what I
We've
looked
got
like.
2 weeks.
This is what I looked like last time I tried the extra hot.
You look like you're ready to die.
I think I was dying.
You're all covered in sweat. You don't look happy. Why would you want to do that again?
I would go up a step into the Reaper
Why?
because it's fun.
Okay.
It looked like I was miserable, but I wasn't.
Man, I wish. You know what? I wish I was 15 years old again. I really
16.
do.
There we
16, fine. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. You're still in the teens. You're in the teens. I like that. So that's good. That's very good. Good photos, by the way. All right, look, we got more to talk about. You're hanging with us. See that? You're even getting messages. You are getting messages from family members telling you, don't try the Reaper. You're doing it. I mean, that's just what it. I mean, that's what they don't want. They're protecting you. They really are. So, you think your grandpa's going to do the Reaper?
I don't think he'd try the Reaper.
I don't either. Do you think he's even going to try the extra hot?
I don't even think he could try the mild.
Fair enough. All right. Anyway, we'll do that in a couple weeks. I'm excited about
That'll be
that
fun.
segment. That will be good. And you tried that on air today, so that's good. You went mild. All right, Cade, something to be excited about. What's the hottest thing you've ever tried?
Oh, it's a really good question. I don't know, actually. That's probably a hot sauce. There's a hot sauce store not too far from where I live in Long Beach. You go down the beach at the very end of it, and there's this famous hot sauce store called Hot Licks, and they have all different kinds of stuff there. We used to go there when we were younger, and they'd give you toothpicks and you'd try them, and there'd be the way too hot stuff. It'd give you a stomachache.
Have you done the one chip challenge?
I have not, and I don't plan on it.
There you go.
I've done it.
You've done the one chip challenge.
Yeah, didn't go great. I've got even funnier videos and photos from there.
Okay, Adrian, have you done the one chip?
No, I haven't.
Alberto, have you done the one chip?
No, I have not.
Okay, so the only one that's done it is the guy right in front of me, and Lane said it didn't go well. So if the one chip didn't go well, why would you want to do the reap just to do it? Just cross it off the list?
I mean, I was 12 years old then. I'm probably better at it now.
Oh, yeah, I had that milk going. I've already been told that there will be plenty of shakes for us on, in a couple of weeks just to chase that stuff down. So anyway, all right, fair enough. Listen, Cade, you got to go. Great to see you. We'll talk to you Saturday at the spring game.
I will see you Saturday at the spring game. It's going to be so much fun. Can't wait. Guys, please come out. It's going to be such a cool event, a chance to show everybody. Can't wait to see everybody there.
We'll come back, wrap up hour 2, and Lane's going to stay with us till 6:30. Stay with us. Sports Talk continues, 600 ESPN El Paso. Hall of Famer Jerry Rubin here, along with Lane Frank. How about that? He's got top billing today because he's in the hall.
I'm on the sidekick today.
You are the sidekick. But if you're going to be the sidekick, better to be the sidekick to a family member than just some total stranger, right?
For sure.
Okay. You mentioned that this is going to be a fun episode for you for 165 for Schoolyard Sports, which drops tonight. What else are you talking about?
Talking a lot about the MLB, Jackson Holiday, Jack Leiter, his abysmal debut today. Didn't talk about that because it hadn't happened yet, but yikes, that was bad. Jackson Holiday hasn't got off to a great start. Talking a lot NBA, my NBA playoff hot takes. It's going to be a great episode. Partnered with Dave's Hot Chicken. Go watch it. Go tune in. All podcast platforms, all video platforms.
Excellent. We will work on, in 2 weeks, by the way. We'll do something there, see if we can make something happen with Dave's. I'm looking forward to that. But before we do that, let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Okay. Number 1. Is this the year the Knicks go all the way?
No. It's not the year they get out of the first round. And it pains me so much as a Knicks fan to say that. But the Sixers might be the best team in the NBA when healthy, and they're healthy.
So you think that with Joel Embiid, that's going to be a difference maker?
In today's new NBA with the play-in, anybody can be anybody in the playoffs. That's shown. Sometimes you think maybe the bad teams are the 1 seeds. The good teams can be in the play-in. Last year, Lakers, they were in the play-in. They made it to the conference finals.
Yep.
This year, Knicks are the 2 seeds. Sixers in the play-in. I think Sixers, unfortunately, get that win. Rooting for the Knicks all the way, but I just don't see it happening this year.
Yeah, but look at Miami. They were without their best guy, and they barely lost to Philadelphia, to that healthy Philadelphia team.
Also, the part that's not fully home court advantage. I mean, Philly and New York are right next to each other.
I know. It's true. The last time the Knicks and Sixers played in the NBA playoffs was 1989. Remember it well. Knicks swept the Sixers. They brought the brooms out, the players did, and started parading around the court, sweeping with brooms.
And maybe if the Knicks make the finals this time, you won't have to watch the O.J. Simpson chase.
I hope not. Well, I think we're okay with that. I think that's probably a thing in the past this time around. So that's good.
Don't think O.J. is going to be in any way Broncos.
No, I think we're okay there. So Philadelphia is your sleeper pick.
Philadelphia is definitely my sleeper pick. I still think they lose to Boston, but Boston and Philadelphia might just be the 2 best teams in the NBA.
So you believe Boston and Philly will be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals?
I do.
What about the West? What's going to happen in the stacked West?
What's going to happen in the stacked West is the Clippers are going to come out of stacked West. Kawhi Leonard has been arrested well enough this year. Paul George, and to piece it all together, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and that amazing bench with a good coach, Tyronn Lue.
You know that's Cade's favorite NBA team.
They're a good team.
He thinks that he's banking on the Clippers this year.
So I bank on the Clippers most years, especially this year.
Adrian, are you buying the Clipper talk like Lane?
No, I probably am not. Kawhi just was diagnosed today with the sprained knee, and he's doubtful for Game 1. I like Dallas. I like the way that they closed out the year. I think it's not just about Luka. It's about the whole team around him, and they have a way better supporting cast this time around than last year. Lane, I'm surprised you didn't pick the Knicks. I've got the Knicks in 5 against Philly. I think Philly is just bad right now. I really hated how they finished off the year. That last game before the regular season ended when Embiid left the game and then came back. That was just an awful look all around.
I hope so.
I think here's the deal. I think the deal is this. Lane is like every Knicks fan. Pessimistic and not ready to just start believing in what could happen this postseason.
Understood. Yeah.
He's like, you've been burned too many times. You don't want to go through that again. And in Lane's young life, he's never seen a good Knicks team. He's only seen garbage. And now it's like, are you really ready to believe as a 2 seed and 50 wins, they can get it done?
It's a 7-game series against an elite 76ers team with a great head coach, Nick Nurse. Now, the Knicks are a great team. Without Julius Randle in the playoffs, they don't get it done.
Okay. All right. We're going to come back. We got another 30 minutes to go. Lane's sticking around as well. Stay with us. Sports Talk continues. 600 ESPN El Paso.
Adrian Broadus.
As that intro reminds you, not only is this the River Oaks Properties Schoolyard Sports Studios, but every appearance from Lane Frank on the show is brought to you by River Oaks Properties. And by the way, as the east part of El Paso continues to expand out in places like East Lake, Horizon, you look at how it's growing on the east side. River Oaks Properties is the city's leader in shopping centers, complexes, and some of the best brand new places to shop in all of El Paso. And a lot of great restaurants on board, a lot of great businesses there as well. Next time you head to your shopping area, just look for the River Oaks Properties sign. And if you want more information on how you can become part of the River Oaks Properties family, you can join them and go online to River Oaks Properties and learn more about how you can become part of their family. All right, Lane. We have a lot more, and I believe it's roplpaso.com for River Oaks Properties and their website here in El Paso. Let's talk more. You mentioned 165, NBA playoffs. We touched on it. Major League Baseball, you gave us a taste. NFL draft is next week. You ready?
I'm ready. My favorite thing to talk about in sports is usually the NFL draft. Really excited for my NFL mock draft special.
Adrian is going to Detroit. He is leaving Monday for Detroit.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. And he will be there all week.
So are we going to do a little NFL draft broadcast on here? Do a little NFL draft episode, or are we not on air next week?
We are on the air next week. I'm staying back.
So are we going to be potentially on air during the NFL draft?
No, Chihuahua's baseball.
Okay.
During the NFL draft. We will be leading up to the NFL draft.
That'd be fun.
In fact, if you have any days open next week and you want to hop into the show while Adrian's out, you can join me here while Adrian Foss and Chris Fernandez are all hanging out at the draft in the War Room and Radio Row.
Sounds good.
Excellent. What's your schedule like next week? You have a lot of matches coming up? Or you?
I got a bunch of stuff every day always, but I'll try to figure out a way in there. I'm going on Rhino's podcast next week, I think.
Which one?
Rhino's podcast.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Well, look, you have fun with that, but stay with us as well, and you can do that. Thoughts on the draft? Is it a slam dunk? We're going to get 3 quarterbacks taken 1, 2, 3.
It's not a slam dunk because I think there's definitely a good opportunity that a team trades up number 3 and doesn't get a quarterback. And
if a team traded up, who do you think they'd want to grab that would not be a quarterback?
Marvin Harrison Jr. It's the easiest answer.
So you think he will be the first receiver off the board?
Oh, without a doubt, and I think he should be. There's too many red flags in Malik Neighbors, and definitely too many red flags in Roma Dunze. Marvin Harrison has his, but he's still the greatest receiver I've ever watched live.
What makes him the greatest receiver?
The way he can adjust to any ball, the way his size, ability, potential. Marvin Harrison Jr., that guy.
So you think he's going to become a better receiver than his dad, who is a terrific receiver in the NFL for the Indianapolis Colts?
So my thinking is we have 3 surefire Hall of Famers in this draft class. It's Caleb Williams, Brock Bowers, Marvin Harrison Jr. When it's all said and done, I don't know if there's going to be 3 best players, but those are going to be 3 Hall of Famers.
Do you think the Cards at 4 take Harrison if he's still on the board?
I think that's a perfect situation for Kyler Murray for that offense. Without a doubt, that's a great choice.
Let me tell you something. If he's available at 5, the Chargers would jump at it. Wouldn't you want to give him a target like that for Justin Herbert, especially after just losing your top 2 receivers this offseason?
After what Jim Harbaugh has seen Marvin Harrison Jr. do in the Big Ten, without a doubt he's taking him.
Yeah, I feel like that would be an easy call. Unless, like you said, a team trades up. Giants are 6. Do the Giants trade up to try to get into the 4th spot?
I think Giants stay where they are. Maybe they take a quarterback. Maybe say Drake May falls to number 4. Boom, we get Drake May. That could definitely happen. And here's my thinking on it. 1, we get Caleb Williams. 2, we get Jen Daniels. 3, we get Marvin Harrison Jr. 4, Cardinals are saying, well, Giants, I got the Vikings on the phone. They want Drake May. Giants, I'll give you his pick if you give me X amount of draft picks, X amount of compensation. Drake May's yours, I could definitely see that happening.
Don't you also think, though, that knowing the Giants need to try and solidify that offensive line, and it's so deep a tackle that they go OT in that first round?
No. I don't think they go OT first round.
So you think they're going receiver no matter what?
I think they go receiver no matter what.
That's interesting.
Or quarterback.
Really? You think they'll go well?
That's what I'm thinking with the Drake May.
But I don't know if I could see Drake May. Well, I guess he could still be.
I could see J.J. McCarthy in New York.
At 6?
At 6.
You don't think that's too big of a reach?
Definitely not. I think 6 is kind of a bit of a fall for J.J. McCarthy.
Adrian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think J.J. McCarthy's going to skyrocket up. And somebody's going to be left out of the conversation, right? Is it Brock Bowers? Is it maybe Neighbors? Is it Harrison? Could he drop and maybe get all the way down to 9 or 10? These are real things that happen. Every year, it's some player. Every year, somebody falls. And I do believe J.J. McCarthy, just for the sure reason that there's so many teams out across the league who need a quarterback, they'll just take a chance and say, hey, look, it's a 50-50 or maybe even a 60-40 bust rate in the NFL when you draft rookies. Might as well just draft them.
Would you be happy if the Giants – I'm going to give you players, and you can tell me who you think they'll take, okay? They're not getting Caleb Williams. They're not getting Jaden Daniels. So Marvin Harrison Jr. you'd be happy with. How about Malik Neighbors?
Malik Neighbors, no. I don't want him just the Giant. I'd rather take an offensive lineman.
Okay, interesting. Romeo Odunze?
No, definitely not.
Brock Bowers?
Yes.
Interesting. So you think tight end there would be a good call for them at 6?
I do, especially with the unknown future of Darren Waller. And I think that's the safest pick for the Giants.
Dallas Turner, best edge rusher in the draft.
I think Dallas Turner is an elite defensive lineman. I've been waiting for him to come to the NFL since his freshman year, for sure.
Okay. Joe Alt, is he the best tackle out of Notre Dame, or do you like somebody else?
I'll say Joe Alt's the best tackle in a not great tackle draft class.
Interesting, because you have Latham from Alabama, you've got
Fashanu from Penn State.
Yep, that's right. And you still think it's not that good?
I don't think it's a great draft class for offensive linemen. At least not top 10.
Who's your favorite player in the draft this year? Who's your number one?
Well, J.J. McCarthy, but I think the biggest sleeper would have to be Blake Corum. That's a guy who can come in, be a running back one, be the hardest worker on your team. Mike Samer's still same thing, be the hardest worker on your team. If I don't have to pick a Michigan guy who's my favorite prospect in this draft class, I would probably go with Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers has been waiting for him since his freshman year. I'd say same with Dallas Turner.
Jim Harbaugh needs a running back.
Jim Harbaugh does need a running back. Let's see if he takes Blake Corum 3rd round, 2nd round, 4th round. That'd be great.
Michael Penix Jr., is he a sleeper?
He's a career backup. That's what he is.
Bo Nix, same thing?
Career backup.
So you don't believe that Penix or Nix have a chance to become future foundation passers in the NFL?
I think Penix is a better chance. I don't think Bo Nix I ever thought any point in his college career, this guy's going to be a great NFL quarterback. I never could have even said this guy's going to be a backup NFL quarterback.
Give me a sleeper quarterback who's not in the top 5 who you think could still end up being a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Let me think about this one for a second.
I'll throw names at you and you can say yes or no.
Okay.
Spencer Rattler.
No, definitely not.
Michael Pratt from Tulane.
I'll go with a no. No.
Joe Milton III from Tennessee.
Definitely no. You want to hear one that I think is interesting?
Yes.
Gavin Hardison.
Really?
179th prospect right here, and took a visit with the Packers today.
He did. That did break earlier. Interested because, again, we've always been told that the arm is his calling card.
For sure. I think another sleeper in this draft class would be Austin Reed, Western Kentucky quarterback.
Yeah, I like him too. So we're going CUSA now.
We're going CUSA.
Signal callers.
Maybe Jordan Travis, a little ACC out there.
What do you think, Adrian?
Jordan Travis, great name as well. I mean, he was a winner, and he led his team to an unbeaten record before he got injured. So, yeah, I think that's a great name right there if you're talking about pure winners. It's just, Lane, it's just so hard, right? Like, it's so hard for us to say any of these are surefires, knowing that every year there's at least one or two that we didn't say, well, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect this guy to be a bust or this guy to have success.
So, Spencer Rattler, after the 2021 season, everyone's saying this guy's going to be the number one pick. Now we're sitting here talking about Spencer Rattler in 2024, and he's 125th best prospect.
Crazy how things can happen from one year to the next to the next.
A little guy named Caleb Williams happened.
Meanwhile, J.J. McCarthy apparently bulked up from 202 pounds to 219 pounds following the NFL season, the college football season.
He's trying to beat the Zach Wilson allegations. Everybody's saying this guy's the next Zach Wilson. Well, J.J. McCarthy's a winner. That's what Zach Wilson isn't. J.J. McCarthy, he's bigger, he's faster, and he's stronger.
Did you think Zach Wilson was going to be a winner out of college?
I didn't think Zach Wilson was this big prospect. I didn't see what popped about him. I think any quarterback can have a good arm. I think the throws that Zach Wilson made weren't exactly special. I thought throws that maybe a Brock Purdy can make. It's just that Zach Wilson played an easy conference in 2020. Actually, they were independent. In 2020, they played a bad schedule. The one hard game they had against Coastal Carolina, he got exposed. I didn't think he was a good draft prospect.
Did you like Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming?
I was too young, but I had Josh Allen.
As a 10-year-old, you didn't have an opinion on Josh Allen, if
So-
he was going to be a big one or not?
I remember watching Josh Allen the first game, and they were like, Josh Allen's going to be the number one pick, and he plays Iowa, and he plays terrible. So I was thinking, okay, maybe Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, these guys are going to be really, really good. Turns out Josh Allen was the best.
Lane, do we have to go back already to the 2022 NFL draft and start to write off some of these guys? Like, here's my real question. Like, how quickly do you move on from guys? Because that year, it was really Kenny Pickett, and, the year before that, it was guys like Justin Fields and stuff like that. How quick do you make your assessments on whether or not you have the guy?
Well, for the 2022 draft class, it was very evident very soon that these are not the guys. Malik Willis is not your guy, even though he's still on the Titans roster, but they have Will Levis. Kenny Pickett was not the guy for Pittsburgh. Now he's on Philadelphia. Brock Purdy is the guy from San Francisco. That's the only one that's made it, really. Desmond Ridder, definitely not the guy for Atlanta. A bunch of bridge quarterbacks, I'll say, in that draft class. Matt Corral, a bridge quarterback. Desmond Ridder, bridge quarterback. These guys were not franchise guys. That's why it happened in 2022. That's why we didn't get any quarterbacks in the top 10 that year.
Who is your favorite position in terms of the draft? If you had to pick a position that you feel is the deepest for quality going in, which one's that going to be?
This year, definitely receiver. You got so many great receivers. You got Keon Coleman from Florida State. You got the top receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors. You got A.D. Mitchell and Xavier Worthy from Texas. It's a great receiver draft class. Don't sleep on Romo Wilson.
So you feel like top to bottom, this is a receiving group that you're going to be able to get fill the needs.
I'm excited for that receiving group.
Weakest class, in your mind, position-wise, this draft?
Well, I said offensive line, but think about this for a second. Maybe let's go with defensive backs in this draft class aren't the greatest. So
Corners and safeties.
Corners and safeties.
Okay, I'm trying to see who could be the highest-rated defensive back. That might be Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo, who is probably...
But that's risky.
Yeah, it is.
Toledo?
I know, and he's the number one rated defensive back prospect in this draft. And after that, you've got Terrion Arnold out of Alabama.
I don't love Terrion Arnold's game. I don't think he was great at Alabama. Cooper DeJean of Iowa. I'm not going to say much about Cooper DeJean, but I don't think he is a first-round pick.
I don't think there's any projected first-round safeties in this draft. It's a
weak DB draft.
Yeah, that's another issue right now is you might be able to find the number one safety coming off the board, possibly even in the third round. It looks like Cole Bishop out of Utah could be the highest-rated safety.
For sure. And another weird thing, linebackers. This draft class is not great for linebackers. You've got Tyree Snight at 130, but he's about the fifth best linebacker in this draft class.
Okay. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up with Lane. We'll say hello to Tim, and we'll put an end to this show. Sports Talk continues right after the one and only Charlie One with our final traffic update.